In this video, we're going to go over how to find the whole in percentage problems. And if you recall, the whole is the piece of the proportion that relates the percentage out of 100 to part out of whole. So how do we go about finding the whole and identifying what it is? Well, first things first, we read the problem and we translate it. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. So we're told that 62 is 37% of what number? I read that as 37% out of some number. Out of. That's how we know it's the whole, because the thing we're looking for is the amount that we're taking out of. There you have it. Out of is the whole. So we've got 37%, so we know that that's going in the percentage slot. And again, if you're looking at this saying, why again is it percent over 100 is part over whole? Check out an earlier video and you'll see the why behind that. For now, we're using that tool that we've discovered. So I have 37 out of 100. The part is 62. Because we're taking 62, it is a percentage out of what? And when we have what, we have a variable, an unknown amount. So that's it. I would practice doing this setup right here, going from word problem to proportion again and again and again. So don't go and solve out the algebra until you've practiced this on 5 to 10 exercises in the homework that you're doing or the classwork that you're doing so that you get really good at this. Then you're going to be solving out the proportions, but that's just using your old algebra skills that you already have mastered to this point. So practice setting this up first. So let's solve it out. We've got 37 times x, cross multiplication. 62 times 100 is 6,200. And then finally, we need to divide both sides by 37. And after I divide both sides by 37, I'm left with x. So my x value is alone. X is equal to, I've done this calculation out, I'm not doing this mentally, about 167.6. That's rounded to the nearest tenth. And that answer makes legitimate sense. If I'm taking the fact that 62 is 37% of something, we're basically saying that 62 is roughly a third. It's a little more than a third, but roughly a third of some number. So I would triple this to approximate what that number would be, right? If I'm a third of something, then I multiply that amount by 3. That would get me a good approximation. So 3 times about 60 is 180. So I know this isn't 180, and it shouldn't be. I'm just saying that we're in the ballpark, which means this is probably a legitimate answer just using some number sense. So it's a good way to check your answer quickly and say, I think I'm in the right ballpark. All right, let's check out 89 is 125% of what number? So I'm giving you a second practice problem, and here I'm showing you that the percentage can be more than 100. So we've got the percentage out of 100, so that'd be 125 out of 100. That ratio needs to be equal to the part compared to the whole. Now, in this case, we've got 89 is. Some teachers will teach it as the number next to is the part. That's a way to memorize things, but I don't think it really speaks to why. I think the part that speaks to why this works is where you say 89 is 125% out of what number? So it's out of some unknown amount x. What is out of that number? 89 is. Now in this case, just be prepared. We are going to have a whole amount that is going to be less than the part. And you might say, how is that possible? Well, if 89 is 125% of something, that means it's all of something and then some, right? 100% is every bit of something plus an additional 25%. And you see with the ratios that we are 125 to 100, so 89 to a number less than 89 is what we expect. So be ready for that. So now we cross multiply 125 times x, and then we're going to do 89 times 100, which is 8,900. From there, all we have to do is divide both sides by 125. Let's do it. So we divide everything by 125, and we're left with x is equal to, and I have my answer right down here off the screen, 71.2, which makes sense, right? If 89 is more than what that whole was, it's increased over time, then we can expect our answer to be slightly less. Very cool stuff, y'all. So this is all about finding the whole using proportions. In a later video, I'm going to show you how to solve these exact two problems, but instead using equations. It's an alternative solution route. I'm pumped for that as well. See you next time.